doesn't have to be a long response, but when it comes to infidelity, you probably experience a lot of conversations sitting across people or across a Zoom, similar to this now that the pandemic has taken over.
Yeah.
In regards to infidelity, what does that generally look like? First of all, do you have a lot of those conversations? How common is that? And also, what advice are you generally giving people who are in that place?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We see a lot of that. It's incredible when couples come in and that's the issue that they come for. Here's the question that we always ask them, because it has to be both a husband and wife. But we ask them the question is, what do you want?
Hmm.
Because that tells us what direction we need to go in.
Yeah.
If they say, I really want to restore my marriage, then we can get to work. Okay. If they come to us and say, I'm out, I'm done, can't do it anymore, there's nothing really we can do. So, but when we get a couple that says, yes, we are willing to put in the work, whatever it takes, we're willing to do that, then we can get to work, because now we can start pulling back that onion and getting down to the surface and figuring out what it is that we need to work on. So it's all about that. If you have a mate that says, yes, I'm tired of living like this, I really want to do the right things so that we can resolve the issues that are in our marriage, then call us because we can help you get there. But I would say you need to call someone. You need some help because there's so much hurt and so much damage done that you're going to need some real transparent conversations. And a lot of times those conversations cannot be done between those two people. It's just too deep. And there's, even though the person that has been doing the cheating, it they have hurts too. So we listen to both sides, and sometimes it's like, well, he can't, he has a lot of nerve about, but his hurt. He's the one who inflicted this on me. But remember, you talked earlier, Bo, about backgrounds and what happened in our childhood.
Hmm.
All those things
Yeah.
come to play. Who knows? We had one fella whose dad gave him, pornography. So that's where it all came from. So it's one of those situations that we just need to get down to the root of the cause and start working from there.
Mm, really good. The other quick question, and either one of you can speak to this: sexual challenges. And let me see if I'm going to pop up here. So sexual challenges, many couples deal with sexual challenges, maybe not at the beginning, but sometimes at the beginning of the relationship. Many of us come into these relationships thinking it's going to be crazy sex all the time. And then
Yeah.
because of their different backgrounds and what they went through, or pornography, or abuse, molestation, all of these things surface. And we didn't get to talk about it, but I know you, Miss Angie, I actually seen a video of you. You were talking about the garden, and it was so funny because I always use the garden analogy. I was like, "That's my girl. That is my girl." But I use the garden analogy a lot of times because our hearts, our relationships are just a garden, and we have to take care of them. We have to maintain them. We have to till the weeds.
Right.
We got to plant the new seeds, the fertilizer, get enough soil, water, etc. And so when it comes to sexual issues or challenges, that may not necessarily be, I'm not into him or her, but there's some other things going on, or there's just no interest, or someone has a health challenge. Is that something you generally coaching people through in these type of coaching sessions? And what advice do you have for people who are dealing with sexual challenges, which in some cases can break a marriage down, like finances can break a marriage down?
Right.
Talk
Right.
to us.
Yeah. Very good question again. Um, I'm also a nurse, so I really encourage couples. First of all, let's find out if there's any kind of physical issues happening. Because if there is, there's so much help, and we just encourage people, don't be embarrassed. This is conversations that physicians, providers, we have these conversations all the time. So don't be afraid to go get some medical help if you need it. If there's a couple that comes to us and he just says, well, I'm just not interested, or I just don't feel like doing it, well, it is your obligation to take care of your spouse, that they should not have to burn. So we always encourage people, but we also really say, create the atmosphere. Don't just have your frumpy robe on, your frumpy slippers, and he's doing nothing to look handsome for his wife. do something, go on the date, always keep something where you are investing in each other so that you can create that atmosphere so that there is some chemistry and some fire there lit. So don't ever let that fire, that flame go out. That's something that you have to work on, and always keep that burning. I'm always trying to think of ways I can be cute for him, and keep it exciting and romantic and all those things we see in the movies, but it takes work and it just doesn't just happen. You have to invest into that. You have something to say about that, I know.
I mean, you talked about the ones that are married, but I'm talking about the ones that haven't got married yet, and that's why I made my list, because I knew if God answered all my lists, I know that I would be happy for the rest of my life, and I am. So, that's the one part that if you're not married, make that list, because why get married to somebody who God hasn't sent you, and you're not happy with? I mean, that just don't make sense. But the other thing is, as a man, if you are married and you're saying, well, there's so many things that you let into your life that can, that maybe that woman looks a little better than my wife. Stop. You know what I mean? It's you got married to your wife. You don't need to be out there looking. You don't need to be looking on the TV. You don't need to be looking in magazines. You don't need to be looking on the internet, because all that does is tear your wife down. It says life and death is in the power of the tongue. There was a couple things that I wanted God to change for my wife, and I said, God, I just started prophesying over it, and when it was maybe 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the road, it changed, and it changed for the better, and I just like, thank you, Lord. and it was amazing. I mean, God will make your marriage work if you trust Him to help you make it work. He don't expect you to do it all alone, but He does give you the tools so that you can make your marriage work. I know there's men that I've coached before where I've told them, I said, you need to say my wife is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and keep saying that. Maybe because she's gotten older, maybe she's lost some of her beauty that you was loving, when you first got married. But if you keep saying that, how she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, that'll catch up to you. And it'll work, and you'll stay in love. You got to fight for this thing. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay happily married forever and ever." You got to fight for it. You got to work at it, and you've got to fight over it, and you've got to tell your mind when it starts talking crazy and thinking crazy what's right. Because if you don't, your mind's gonna go on a different direction. It will.
Good. That's really good. You gotta write that down.
Next book